All right, I'm out of here.
We were just, I think it was in Sony's stream, maybe we were talking about we're getting close to having played for a year, which I think is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I think it was around this time last year we were talking about logistics of starting up. So, speaking of, to give us context where we are in the campaign. So, we just finished Chapter 4. Chapter 4, as written in the campaign that we're doing, was actually meant to be rather short, and you weren't going to level up. But seeing as we spent a lot of time and added some content there, I think level 4, or Chapter 4 instead, we're going to say was a longer one. We leveled up in that. And instead, as written, I'm going to combine Chapter 5 and 6, because Chapter 5 is relatively short. So we'll go through that in this sort of next chapter. And then in terms of the first campaign, Chapter 7, Chapter 8 are the final chapters of this campaign. So we're getting relatively close to the end. For those of you who have been here the whole way, y'all will recall Tyranny of Dragons actually has 2 parts. It has Horde of the Dragon Queen and then Rise of Tiamat. Both are about the same length, so Rise of Tiamat would start at chapters 9 and go through chapter 17. So if everybody's willing to keep doing this campaign, we can continue on. If people want to drop, totally understandable. We've been playing like almost a year plus, especially by the time we finish. Everybody's welcome to join back. With how we're set up now, since Hog has left and since Skeleton hasn't come back, but it sounds like, Sony, I don't know if you've talked to him, he might still be interested.
Yeah, maybe.
As long as we've got 6+, we're going to keep it at 2 groups, just because 6 is a lot to do in one group and like still have everybody have a spotlight and be able to do the things they want to do. If we go below 6, however, if we go to 5 or lower, we're probably going to move it to 1 group. And if we're doing it in 1 group, I may try to, throw in some of my own flair here and there and do some of my own like house build stuff. But for the large part, we'll play the Tyranny of Dragon campaign. The way it's been previously is 1 group's been doing something relatively close to what the Tyranny of Dragons campaign is, and the other one's been more me just homebrewing a campaign. That makes sense to everybody?
Yeah.
No.
Cool.
What doesn't make sense, Void?
Mayonnaise.
It is an instrument. It do be an instrument. Okay, just want to give everybody context of where we are in the campaign. Since we have everybody together, technically it's been, in terms of the campaign, it's been 2 months on the road since all of y'all have seen each other. And realistically, it's probably been 2 months, maybe even 3 months since all y'all were sort of back in, where was it? I think it was in Elturel before y'all split up. So let's start with the Baldur's Gate group. Could y'all sort of give the other group a summary of some of the high points and sort of major things that happened during y'all's adventure?
Wow.
Not everyone at once.
Oh, everybody. Well, we picked up a magical deer guy along the way, and he's still with us.
Arun Windcaller, if I recall correctly.
Arun, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, there he is. He's actually an ancient elf who's, I don't know, in the shape of a golden deer. So we're trying to go break that curse.
And Avalene wanted to sell him.
So we're taking him to Waterdeep. May or may not have killed some cultists along the way.
You're welcome.
Okay, you almost died for that. I'm officially part of the Zhentarim. Sab went on a magical trip into the Feywilds. And Muffin got locked up in jail for a night for drinking too much.
Guy was a dickhead. He stared at me wrong.
No, he didn't. For the record,
He did.
He was not looking at you.
He looked at me wrong, stared at me, and that pissed me off. So I went and knocked his lights out.
Okay, so he
Yeah, there-
existed.
To be clear, there were plenty of
Yes.
drunk people around. Kil'Kash did not go to jail for being drunk. He went for assaulting a random civilian.
Assaulting, yeah.
Fuck that guy.
And we also have Jamna with us. who-
Midget.
She's a gnome.
She's a midget.
She's also
She calls Kil'Kash Tubby.
Hey.
Tubby. Tubby and midget. Dynamic duo. Yeah.
How about the main objective of what y'all were doing?
Observing the cultists. Which, yeah, that went great.
Once again, you're welcome.
Yeah, so as I'll thank you, and that's an inspiration point for you, Cassie. Thank you. The other couple things I'll add. So yeah, the main thing the Baldur's Gate group was doing was trying to get a track of the cultist caravan and sort of keep an eye on them. A couple of notable things happened is that, hey, they were really, really secretive of their hoard. They weren't able to get a super close good look at the goods that they were holding, but they did notice that it was like a variety of trinkets, trade items, weapons, things like that. Not as if they were a merchant selling like one specific trade that they were doing. So that was a bit suspicious. They're almost positive these are the cultists at this point. They're acting very suspicious. Yeah, they got in a few conflicts. Those cultists may or may not have tried to assassinate them on a number of occasions. And at the same point, they met Jamna Gleamsilver in Daggerford. The cultists picked up this individual,
Joss.
Isbara Joss, who seems to be a magical character in these big red robes, very, very creepy looking.
He's a red wizard.
Yeah, so as far as was it Avalene that overheard? And I think she made a really bad history or religion check or something.
I
She's
think
like,
I just forgot, and I'm like, yeah, he's a red wizard of the Fae.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you all know he's a red wizard of the Fae, which certainly isn't a mishearing or mispronunciation. But he was sort of a menacing character that they interacted with a couple times. While they haven't seen him act out directly against them, they suspect him of potentially having caused some chaos. But seemingly he also always stepped in to be sort of a neutral party, to sort of cut conflict short. So he's a bit of a mystery at this point, but certainly a dangerous character. The other thing that they got some information on was about a black dragonborn woman.
Very good.
Um,
I'm thinking, wow.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember her name. They believe her to be the leader of this group of cultists. Sorry, let me look up her name again.
Jingle bells. Ball smells.
I do. Resimir the Black. So one of the things they know about her is that she's apparently a large dragonborn woman who usually is found wearing all purple robes, which for the group that was in the Dragon Hatchery will recall that Frulan Mondath and the robes that y'all found in her chest and her quarters were these sort of regal purple robes. Avalene thinks she may have spotted this person in Baldur's Gate, but she's not sure. But it seems that she's sort of head of this operation currently. That was the other major piece of info they got. So those were the main things I wanted to add. Otherwise, yeah, Avalene hit a lot of, or Cassie hit a lot of the points there in terms of sort of some of the other miscellaneous stuff that happened and some of the exciting things that happened along the way. How about the High Forest group? can one of y'all hit us with some of the major things that happen along the way?
Anyone want to go?
Go with Thesera.
All right. So we left El Terrell, headed north up to Subar, and I think that's where we found out that the Emerald Enclave members were being hunted by like some assassination group. I don't know. We found one of them. Poor old Jerry was murdered in his home, and we decided to continue north with Jerry's belongings. I'll just still go to the Emerald Enclave up in the High Forest. Made our way up to Dragonspear, and that's where we met Squeeb and Squeeb Jr., so Squeeb's parents, and...
Squeeb Jr.
Or sorry, Squeeb Sr. Squeeb Sr. And that's where some of the clans people or whatever, some of the Dragonborn there, were affected by some curse or... I don't know, they were just very sickly looking. We went off to Dragonspear Castle, closed a portal that led to hell, and that actually correlated with this curse that was plagued on them. So they're better now. We continued up to Daggerford.
Whoa.
What?
What about the apparition we met over there?
Oh, we did meet, what's his name? Goarulskul, Squeeb's friend, who's like some ghost apparition that aided us along the way.
I think you got an amulet from that as well that you're still wearing, right?
Yeah.
Are you wearing it, or is it just in your inventory?
I think I'm just wearing it right now. It's like kind of hidden underneath my armor.
Because it had burned Squeeb and Thorn when they tried to pick it up, right?
Yeah.
And killed Old Geared.
Yeah, put Old Geared into a coma.
Tossed it to him and just knocked him
Yeah.
unconscious.
Bye.
So I'm just holding on to it for now, and then we continue our journey up to Daggerford. Main thing there was Thorn got some dreads and a new look, and then he got laid. And then
That was the main thing.
I think that
Pretty
was
fucking cool.
that was the main points in
Pretty fucking
Daggerford.
rad.
Then we took a boat heading east along the river to the High Forest, and we encountered some Treants. Once talking to them, they allowed us into the city where the Emerald Enclave stay in, and we met some of the leaders there. Oh yeah, Turlong was one of the Treants that were guarding the Emerald Enclave, and Delann was like another you call him an emissary? Would you?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's like the ambassador to the Council of Waterdeep.
Yeah, so he kind of allowed us in, and then we spoke to the leader, Melindrak, and his son, who kind of doesn't agree. So his son, Eligarthus, he doesn't really agree with how his dad runs things, especially with the cultists and people targeting Emerald Enclave members. So we kind of parted ways with Eligarthus. He kind of went off on his own, and we're with his dad at the moment, preparing. I think we left on boat already. We were heading back to Waterdeep, and that's where we left off.
Tell them about the cool stuff we got.
Oh, so Squeeb got his hawk. I found that, and I got an awesome Arctic staff. So that's pretty cool. And
Thorn got a ring.
yeah, Thorn got a ring back over in the portals over by Hell.
Awesome. Yeah, so we'll add a couple points here. But point of inspiration to you, I know you need it after burning through so much the last couple sessions.
Yeah.
In Dragonspear, that's where sort of we assume Olgierd left off to go on another quest with his horse Olgierd. And that's where we found Thorn. Thorn had apparently, after Greenest, headed eastward out towards, I think it's Riabor. But at some point while he was sleeping on at a camp one night, his god, is Thor your god, or is it a different god?
It's Thor, yeah.
Yeah, Thor. Sent him an image in his mind and sort of the directions to reach Castle Dragonspear. So he set back off there, and when the other group arrived at Dragonspear, they found him sort of just waiting outside the entrance, trying to find a way in, as it seemed to have been sealed by some dark magic. Some other pieces of information: the sickness or disease that you mentioned in Dragonspear. Y'all didn't have a ton of information about it, besides that apparently a cleric had passed through a few weeks earlier and said that they believed it to be something that was essentially like tampering with the souls of the people in town.
Yeah.
Another thing that Thorn came across when y'all were in Dragonspear, y'all went into the library there, and y'all essentially found that like y'all had to solve this puzzle that revealed the name of the next room where all the portals were, which was the Crossroads. And you figured out that this castle and the dwarves that had used to have lived there were sort of these architects of creating abilities and means of traveling across the different planes of existence in this universe. And one of the ones that there was a bit of research on that Thorn had come across was about the plane of Axis, which listed, it said, the plane of Axis has had an undue influence upon the realm that Thorn came from and where the rest of the Warforged are from. So that gave him some information about his home as well. Besides that, yep, like y'all said, went up to Daggerford. The only thing I'll add is that when y'all were in the Star Mountains, or at the foot of the Star Mountains with the Emerald Enclave, Thorn went off to have a discussion with Aligarthus, the son of Melindrock, who had been arguing with his father about sort of his methods for handling the cult. And it was revealed that Aligarthus actually has an older brother who he believes his father is being unduly like soft with. And it sounds like there might be some conflict between the Emerald Enclave and Melindrock's firstborn son. And Aligarthus seems to be trying to hunt him down. Sound good? Anything else y'all want to add?
Oh,
Cool.
we got very drunk in the city.
Yeah, I forgot about that. A lot of vomiting and not good times. That was an adventure. I think everybody got drunk in this last chapter. Both groups did. Or actually, Muffin, y'all hadn't had your Dragon Breath wine yet, had y'all?
No, not yet. I wanted to wait till after we had our travels.
Yeah, because y'all were potentially going to get assassinated and didn't want to be like blackout drunk.
And then Kil'Kash took care of it.
Kil'Kash doesn't have his
He
drink.
almost got taken care of. That's the way I'd phrase it. But cool. All right. So now the entire group's in Waterdeep, and I can't remember if I told both groups this, but the High Forest group that was meeting with the Emerald Enclave would have arrived into Waterdeep a few days beforehand. Y'all met with Leosin at the Skag Adventurers Guild Hall. He essentially said, hey, like, based off our estimates, the other group should be here within the next week or so. Feel free to explore the city for a bit, but you're welcome to stay here as Skag members. You have free room and board here. So that'll sort of act as y'all's sort of center of operations for the next few days. When the Baldur's Gate group arrives, y'all arrive to the city and y'all get paid by your different caravan leaders. Muffin, since yours is unconscious and still very sickly.
I thought he was awake.
He is. Okay, so not unconscious. He is still very sickly.
Yeah.
He has no use of his legs or something.
Yeah, he's gonna trust you not to take all of his money and just take the couple pieces of gold that y'all were given as in terms of contract.
I tell him, don't worry about using it for your hospital bills.
Oh,
Don't worry
okay.
about me.
How very noble of you. Avalene and Ray, y'all each get 2 gold pieces for your service. And y'all's caravan leader, the merchant selling the books and scrolls and whatnot, she agrees that she'll help take the caravan leader to a major cleric's temple nearby, where they should be able to help him recover. She's like, once he gets there, he's kind of on his own. But since y'all were so good to me, and I wouldn't want to leave him behind, I can at least take him there. As for this big golden deer, however, what are y'all going to do with him?
Ride on him like a noble steed.
Confused.
I guess we're just gonna put a rope around him, make a fake halter and stuff, and just walk downtown with him, wherever we're going.
Okay, perfect. Y'all notice, or actually, how about each of the three of you give me a perception check?
Actually, I gotta look at my sheet. 3.
Okay, perhaps Ray is busy trying to get Arun off the wagon, and him being like a massive deer and all of his hooves and whatnot. It's kind of hard to get him off. It was actually easier to get him on, which is kind of weird. I don't know if y'all have ever had to do that with horses.
Yeah.
But she's a bit distracted with that. But Avalene and Kil'Kash, y'all notice that while the caravan y'all are with, the bookseller and scroll seller, while she seems to be getting ready to leave and heading into town, the other ones seem to be taking a different route while still going through town. It seems like they're just taking the major road north. When you ask a nearby merchant as to like where they're going, they mention that there's apparently some warehouses on the northern side of the city where they would essentially be off in that direction, where people who are continuing the journey north will essentially store their goods, get new wagons, repair their wagons, do all that kind of work before taking the more dangerous journey north.
So,
Thorn, wherever he is, farts loudly, spewing oil everywhere.
So, after asking somebody nearby, can I bring forth my familiar and have it follow them from a distance?
You can, but it can only go so far, and eventually they're going to be out of range. Meanwhile,
100 feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sab and Muffin, give me another perception check. Syed. Oh, must have just lagged a bit. Sab is still distracted trying to get Arn to chill out. Muffin, you sort of notice that Jamna walks over to Avalene, but other than that, you don't really notice anything. Avalene, Jamna walks over to you, just sort of elbows you in the thigh, and slips you a piece of paper. And she just sort of nods and goes, well, seems like y'all have some work to do catching up with your friends. My main objective was tracking the cultists, so I'm happy to track them from here. But I'm sure we'll see you again soon.
Sounds good. Stay out of trouble.
She nods her head and she goes, keep an eye on Tubby over there, won't you?
I'll remember that.
Kill himself, yeah.
I'll remember that, midget. We need to have our drinking contest soon.
She says, oh, that's right. Sounds like a plan. She gives you a mischievous little grin and backs away into the shadows of an alleyway before disappearing.
Kil'Kash still doesn't notice that his alcohol is not actually alcohol.
It's just a bottle of water now.
Just a bottle. I technically have it.
All right. On the note she passed you, she sees that she's given essentially you directions in the city to find the local Zhentarim headquarters.
Okay.
It's like the local office for the Zhentarim.
Yeah.
Cool. Besides that, y'all recall from Leoson's instructions all the way back in Elturel that once y'all arrived in Waterdeep, y'all were to head to the Sword Coast Adventure Guild Hall, where y'all would both meet up with the other group as well as receive your reward.
Woo.
Ready to head back?
Yep.
We'll bring our dear boy with us.
Sounds good. He definitely draws a lot of attention as y'all are going through, but frankly, this is Waterdeep, the city of magic, and people have seen weirder. So while it draws attention, nobody's surprised, really. All right, y'all gonna head to the Adventurers Guild?
Before we do, I would tell Ray and Avalene I want my crossbow back.
Don't look at me. I don't have it.
Here you go, buddy. I think it was in the bag.
Yeah, it's somewhere in the bag.
Yeah, it was given.
My baby. All right, now we go.
Broken or anything, was it?
No.
No.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, so y'all make your way to the Sword Coast Adventurers Guild. The rest of the group, the High Forest group, y'all would be just enjoying your breakfast at this point in time. Just about a day or two ago, what's his name? Delann arrived. Well, no, excuse me. Y'all came with Delann, but he said he was going to sort of scout the town first. He usually comes in the morning to the Sword Coast or the Guild Hall, and then he just sort of heads back out of town in the evening, where you think he might be camping outside the city. The Baldur's Gate group, as y'all arrive, y'all see Leosin speaking with the guard outside the guild hall. He sort of waves y'all down. Also, I think y'all are already at the bottom down here.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how to remove, so.
Oh, sorry. Down here.
There.
Are y'all able to move those at the bottom? Down here?
Yeah. I am, at least.
Okay. Leosin waves y'all down and says, "Oh, welcome, welcome. I had heard that y'all were about a day or two out. How was the road?"
A little bumpy, but managed to get here okay.
He nods and goes, "Well, glad you all made it anyways. There was always probably going to be some distractions or hindrances in the plan. But the rest of your group's inside. Why don't we head inside, and I'll catch up and talk about next steps."
Sounds good.
Cool. All right. He leads you through the gate and sort of motions to the guard to not let anybody in and to step in front of the gate behind you all.
I can't move my character.
You can't move yours?
No.
Okay. In that case, I'll just delete it.
Bring it
Sab,
back
I'll
in.
delete yours as well if you want to bring yours back in. Cool. Okay. Y'all open the door and see your long lost companions who you haven't seen in a few months. Real quick, Sony, give me a perception check.
Perception. Was that plus Dex? I can't remember.
Perception?
Yeah.
If you click the skill on your character sheet,
wait,
it should
wisdom.
roll it for you
Sorry.
automatically. I was gonna say, I think it's wisdom or intelligence.
Ooh.
Can I roll inspiration?
If you really want to, yeah, go for it.
Are you freaking kidding me?
You rolled 2 nat ones? What?
Is it cursed?
Can I roll another one?
No, you can only use 1 per roll.
Oh, damn
Damn. You think you hear, or you think you feel sort of a vibration happening in the space, but then you recognize that that's actually Thorn farting next to you.
Oh,
Really?
jeez.
Right now, Thorn?
He had taquitos last night. He's paying the price now.
There's a bathroom right over there, Thorn.
Cool. All right, Leosin leads y'all to the center of the room, and he points to the rest of your group and says, "Oh, yes, your friends arrived a few nights ago. Why don't we all sit down and talk about what's happened?"
Hey, guys.
Hey,
Uh,
it's been a while.
Yeah.
Did you come in with that deer, or did you put it outside?
Yeah, the deer's in with us, or he's outside. I don't know. I'd
So he's
assume
enjoying some grass outside.
he's in the
Maybe he found a
stables.
garden. Yeah, something like that. Oh my God, Floyd. Well, wonderful. Welcome everybody to Waterdeep. I'm glad to see everybody's made it. Except where's that old-geared fellow?
Oh, he got on his horse, old-geared, and rode off somewhere else.
Into the sunset.
Huh. Okay, well, he's welcome to join us should he want at any time. Y'all will find, they'll be happy to know that your friend Growlow's come with us. He's continued to be a loyal member to the Harpers, and he's actually currently studying some more magecraft here in Waterdeep. So he's been busy trying to help where he can.
That's nice to hear. He's still doing okay.
Oh, and those of you who just got in, Thesera, would you mind introducing our friend from the Emerald Enclave here? He motions to Delann.
Yes, this is our companion here, Delann. Met him here at the Emerald Enclave over in the High Forest. And he kind of escorted us along the way, and he's here just as a representative for the Emerald Enclave.
Delann sort of nods his head in his usual gruff way. Thankfully, his wolf isn't here, or else who knows how the wolf would have gone along with Arun. But he just greets the rest of you as you walk in and say, "Hello." As she said, I'm Delann. I'll be here as a representative of the Emerald Enclave going forward, but just think of me as just another guy.
Okay.
Anyways, Leosin says, let's hear a report, and we'll just assume that the summaries y'all did at the beginning, y'all provide all that information. Don't want to make y'all go through that again unless anybody has something they want to add in character. Any takers?
I think we're good. Maybe.
Okay. In that case, Leosin will say, well, as promised, here's your reward. And I'm trying to remember if it was like a sapphire or a diamond. But I'll go back and look at the reward from the previous chapter they said he would give you. I think it's worth a few hundred gold pieces, if I recall correctly. In addition to that, I've got a few magic items for your group. Y'all can determine how to split as possible. If somebody can write these down so we can talk about it in Discord later about who wants what, y'all will get an immovable rod, a portable hole, and a boots of spider climbing.
We'll catch for a fight for them boots of spider climbing.
Cool. Y'all can look up what they do in the future, but a movable rod essentially is something you place in space, you click a button, and then it just stays there. I think it takes like a DC 30 strength check to move. It just exists in that space. Portable hole.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, movable rod is a very fun item. Portable hole is another very fun item where it's essentially this like piece of fabric that you fold up. It's like the size of a handkerchief, but then you can spread it out on the ground and it becomes a 10-foot hole. So that can be a fun thing to either use as hiding or for storage or for other things like that. And then the boots of spider climbing, as you could guess, give you a climbing speed so that you can
I
climb
fuck
up
the hole?
vertical surface. It's a little big for that. Okay, so he gives you all that gem that I need to go back and confirm the value of so that y'all can choose to split that or do with that as you will, as well as those 3 magic items that we can determine who gets what afterwards. Once all that's been handled, Leosin sort of looks to y'all and says, Rezimir, you say? We've heard of that there's a variety of leaders among the cultists called Worm Speakers. I wonder if she could be one of those. Either way, it's as we've thought. There seems to be some activity north. There seems to be more activity by the cultists just north of Waterdeep. You said you saw the caravans heading north through the city. Was the last time y'all spotted them?
Yep. Yeah, they were heading north, probably up to some warehouses.
As y'all say that, a weird little hummingbird lizard thing and it's sort of flying in the air behind Thesera.
Aw. It's so cute.
Where's the fly swatter?
You leave this alone.
Leosin says, just continues to listen to you and says, okay. Well, Delann, what are your thoughts? Is there anything we can do to help the Enclave at this moment? He just sort of looks at Leosin and says, not at the moment, I'm afraid. As I've told you, things are keeping us rather busy at the moment. I'm sorry we couldn't give you more attention or resources at this time, but nothing that we would ask for help with from y'all. The little hummingbird thing seems to just land on Thesera's shoulders. And while it does that, a rabbit comes bursting through the doors and runs underneath Avalene's legs and bumps into her legs under the table.
What was that? Oh, it's a cute little buddy. Give it a little pet on the head.
And then shortly after the rabbit, a very frustrated looking mastiff comes running out the door.
Doggy!
I had a feeling something was happening.
The dog, on the other hand, is not being as cute as the others and actually poops on the floor behind Thesera.
All right, somebody get that dog out of there.
Let this dog in. Squeeb, can you just escort him out, please?
Hey, I will fight anyone who touches that dog.
All right, that dog's out of here.
Floor.
I will clean it up. You leave that dog alone.
Clean it up with your nose.
That's a poorly trained dog.
Kil'Kash, some things have already been some fates have already been decided, and Squeeb carries the dog outside. Sort of kicks it outside the door and tells it it's being bad.
Clean up on aisle 2.
At this point, Leosin continues. Well, if there's nothing that the Emerald Enclave needs of us right now, I think our main priority should be figuring out what the cultists are doing north of Waterdeep. What do y'all think about that?
Mm-hmm.
Crickets.
Well, if there's no counterpoints to that, what I would say is that, given that we've already been following them with a small group of 3, we'll probably want to mix up that group somewhat, and we'll probably want to limit it again to 2 or 3 people, so as not to draw too much suspicion. Now, I don't think we need to make a decision tonight. From the description y'all said, their wagons are a little bit worse for wear. They've made a long journey north. It probably won't be for a few days that they're leaving. So why don't y'all take the day tomorrow, enjoy your time here, rest up, relax, and then we can decide about who's going to do what.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Okay. As y'all begin to step away, the weird hummingbird lizard thing seems to float around Avalene's pocket and flies off with a few gold pieces and disappears.
How much gold did I lose?
It was
2 that I was
gold
given?
from the one-off session, so we'll call it not real gold.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Should have healed it.
Meanwhile, y'all see the dog run back inside and flee into this other room.
What's
Get
going
out of
on
here.
over here? It's all these animals.
It's a zoo in here.
Well, that's right. At this point, the rabbit has run off in this other direction and gone into this hallway. Cool. All right, so y'all have been given at least one idea of what your party wants, of what your group should be doing. Does anybody else have any ideas or leads?
Ideas or what?
Or leads?
Is there any concerns for the Emerald Enclave? Like, who's assassinating them?
Delann has said for now, he's sort of in Melandrock's camp, that they want to handle it internally. So he hasn't shared any more additional information. The only extra information y'all have gotten, and I don't think y'all have told Delann at this point that you know about the other son, and that they seem to be in conflict with his group.
I think it'd only be Thorn that knows about that, really.
I think he told your group.
Didn't
you tell the rest of the group at the end of last session?
I do not remember, but let's go with I
think
did.
He did.
Oh, you did?
I'm pretty sure he did. I think when y'all got back together, y'all showed him the hawk and the staff, and he gave y'all the information that he had gathered. I might be wrong, but even if I am, I'll assume that y'all had something to talk about while y'all were on the boat all the way back to Waterdeep.
And since Delann, if he was on the boat, would he have heard about this too?
We'll assume that he was off on the other side of the boat. He likes to be alone usually.
I guess I mentioned.
I'll say Avalene recalls that she has a note on something she may want to check up on.
To step out for a bit to go on a personal errand.
Do you want to take anybody with you?
Probably not.
Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and play this out, and then we can play through any other leads or anything else y'all want to do. That sound good?
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Someone else
in
can
that case,
take Aaron to go find a curse.
Yeah, y'all will enjoy your lunch and whatnot. Oh, yeah, we'll say that you bring up, as y'all sort of split, you bring up the topic of Arun with Leosin, who goes, that is strange. There's certainly some local mages or clerics that could help with that. Why don't we keep him here? We'll send some scouters out to see who may know about this or what they can potentially do about it. But to keep him safe, we should probably keep him here for now. Once we know more, we can help him. With that, so he's at least taken care of. Y'all tell him that he'll be safe here for the meantime. Avalene, you sneak out at some point in the afternoon while people are enjoying their lunch or resting. And you follow the directions back into Waterdeep to look for the Zhentarim headquarters. Which, let me see if I have an appropriate map for this.
I'm level 5 now.
Yay.
Ooh.
Yay.
Any big upgrades?
I got a pretty good spell, but unless we start seeing undead in this campaign, it's rather unfun.
I have darkness, but I don't know. It seems a little difficult to work with.
It certainly can be in a group setting. Okay. I don't have a super awesome map for this, so we're just going to play it in the theater of the mind. As you walk through the busy streets of Waterdeep, you seem to notice that you're coming into quite an affluent area, but you double check your directions, and indeed you are following them correctly. Finally, you arrive at the destination listed on there, and you look up, and you see that you've arrived at what appears to be a magic item shop.
Hey. I'll waltz in.
As you walk in, you enter this glamorous high-end shop where there seem to be all kind of wondrous spell books, magic items abound, all with prices in the thousands and tens of thousands of gold, all seemingly just out to grab, which you find very odd for a thieves' headquarters.
And there's nobody there?
You do notice that there is one person, or maybe it's a person anyways, it looks like a person, standing at the back of the room, behind a counter and a register, seemingly there to accept payments.
To him? Take out a coin. Put it down. See his reaction.
You went to the person in the back?
Yeah.
As you approach, you see that it is, in fact, not a person, but it seems to be some sort of giant stone construct. And at the center of its chest, you see a sort of glowing orb of energy. Upon seeing you place the coin down, it doesn't say anything, but instead just begins to move out from behind the counter, goes over to a bookcase, and easily pushes the bookcase aside, revealing a hidden corridor.
Pick my coin back up and make my way down that hidden bookcase corridor.
You hear the bookcase sort of slide into place after you walk in, and you see that this hallway is sort of dimly lit by a number of torches, but you can see that there seems to be a bright room down a set of stairs at the end of the hallway.
Keep making my way.
As you enter the brightly lit room, you see that you've come into what almost seems like a tavern. In fact, I'll actually, now that I say it, I will throw you on the tavern.
I was going to say, perfect for a thieving place. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay, never mind.
This would obviously be underground. And it's
Yeah,
not going to look exactly like this, but just for theming, going to put you in here. And inside, you notice there's a variety of different characters. But there's a few that draw your attention specifically. One is a beautiful tiefling woman sitting at the bar, seemingly playing with some sort of magic item in her hands. And then you notice another friendly face, sort of in the back of the bar. You see Jamna sitting up on the back end of a couch, like her feet are on the cushions, but she's sitting up on, what would you call it? The back of the couch, I think.
dresser.
Yeah. Seemingly unaware of the location she's in. You also see a variety of different merchants. You see the flying snake, sort of keeper, as you would have it, that you've seen in your previous hideout, as well as a number of other thuggish and roguish-looking characters just milling about.
Hey. I'm gonna look at Jamna. Does she make eye contact with me or no?
She seems to be deep in her drinks and just enjoying herself at the moment.
I'll just make my way over. Walk up to her. So, how's that trailing going?
Oh, it went fine. It took them about an hour to get through the city, but they're located in some warehouses up north. I've spotted it out. Shouldn't be a problem to find. It'll take them another day or two before they're able to leave.
Perfect. All right.
I've already reported the information to the guild, so no need to worry about that.
Okay. Perfect. So, what do you want to talk about?
Talk about?
I mean, you gave me the directions to come here, so I assumed.
Oh, then I assume you're still interested in taking on a Zhentarim job, then, huh?
Yep.
Okay, well, that was the end of my job, but I mostly just wanted to give you the headquarters in case you wanted to head over here and, buy things, check things out. But the barkeep over there, he's generally the sort of information keeper, if you would. Whenever you have information, you want to find somebody like him, who'll carry that information on to the rest of the Zhentarim, the leadership. Let them know that you've completed your quest, and usually they'll have some news or local business that you can investigate as well.
Okay. Well,
And she just sort of points to a man standing behind the bar over here.
gonna see you later then. I'm sure we'll cross paths again.
For sure. There seems to be a lot more cultist-related work these days, so I wouldn't be surprised if we ran into each other again.
Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna make my way over to the bar here. Maybe this.
As you, are you going to go sit at the bar? Or are you sort of standing there?
Oh, I'm gonna sit at the bar.
Okay. The tiefling woman next to you just sort of smiles at you and goes, "Hi there, I'm Sarhala."
Nice to meet you. I'm Ava.
And let me show her picture, because I think some of the rest of the group may recall running into her. Does anybody from back in Greenest recall running into Sarhala?
Yeah, wasn't she the one? There was a dead body somewhere, and I don't know. I thought we thought she was lying to us or something.
Yeah, one of y'all's goals was to, I think, go to the blacksmiths, or maybe it was the tavern, to try and find information or collect resources for the city. And when y'all arrived, y'all found a cultist lieutenant and several other cultists, dead, essentially. And she just was waiting.
Oh, this was the one with the racist lady, right?
Yeah, people had been racist towards her. They had called her a devil.
Yeah.
But she's just a tiefling woman. Oh yeah, that's right. Void, you're right. Yeah, there was an old woman screaming about a devil in greenest, and that like she was the one who had brought the cultists on or whatever. But it was really just this tiefling woman who had arrived a few days ago. You're right. Yeah, it was a racist old lady. I forgot about that. It always is. That's how it always starts.
I was gonna say it's always.
She sort of just looks at you and goes, "What brings you to town?"
Oh, just tracking some cultists, meddling in some business. The usual. How about yourself?
Oh, just a traveler like you. Not a member here, but I'm friends with quite a few of them, so I usually check it out here from time to time to see if there's work. But the cult you say, I had a run-in with them back in Greenest.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're growing quite brash these days. Let's just say, some people deep down are taking interest.
In a good way or a bad way?
Depends what you mean. It's good work. In a bad way, for the cultists, I suppose. They're making enemies everywhere these days.
Do not know the way.
What's that you're fiddling with?
You see her just sort of playing with this amulet that has, it's just sort of floating in her hand. And there seem to be like little strands and weaves and orbs sort of coming from this glowing center of the amulet. And she goes, "Oh, this thing here? Nancy, I'm a soul weaver by practice. Are you familiar? Or actually, yeah. Give me an Arcana check
Shit.
or religion, up to you.
Let me change that.
I'll let you roll. I'll let you roll religion as well.
That's pretty cool.
You're like souls, and that looks like a magic thing, yeah. You're just
An
looking at her,
arcane
and you're like,
trickster, That's pretty cool.
You're just at the bar with a really cute girl, and she's like,
Yeah, you see my tail's wagging a little bit.
She's talking about her interests, and you're just like, yeah, got it. She explains to you about how like her art is sort of the ability to manipulate souls and soul energy to have like impacts on people, but you don't really get any sense out of it. You're just like, yeah, it's
sounds difficult.
It's cool. What you're doing is pretty. I mean, you're pretty. I mean, sorry, it's
yeah, sorry. I keep meaning to look at your face, but my eyes are
my eyes are drawn to your amulet, I mean. Anyway, she goes, "Well, what did you say your name was?"
Ava. Or Avalene.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm going to be busy here with some work in Waterdeep for a while. So hopefully we'll run into each other again. And she gets up and begins to leave. Gives you a little wink as she leaves.
Her name.
All right. Meanwhile, the sort of the barkeep, the information keeper, looks at you, and goes, "Well, do you have anything to report, or are you just here to flirt?"
Yes and yes. I'm mostly looking for more information for the cultists, for what their next moves are and any other locations they're located in.
Oh, lovely. Well, we just got the information in from Jamna. She said she was traveling with another member. I take it that was you?
Yeah. Yeah, she reported the information first.
Lovely. Well, in terms of proceeding on that quest, we don't have anything we're going to do at the time. We just wanted to confirm that they were traveling north through Waterdeep. On the other hand, we did just receive in some information that might be of interest to you. How do you feel about taking on a little heist?
The location?
here in Waterdeep. As you may have seen upstairs, I don't know if this is your first time in our operations here, but we sort of run the magic item business here in town, at least the high-end magic items. But it seems that the cult has been working with some of our suppliers, and they seem to be hoarding magic items. We believe they're keeping them here somewhere in the city, probably in one of the bigger banks. We'd like some of the members of the Zhentarim to take a sort of a strike group in there, recover any magic items you can, and, how do I put this lightly, show them a lesson.
Okay, I can do that. I might have some other members who would be interested in that as well.
He points you over to a notice board and he says, just posted it up there over in the corner. You'll get some more details from the full written report. Can I mark you down for that one?
Yep. And I can bring others with me?
Sure. Bring anybody you want, as long as the mission gets done at the end of the day.
Okay. Good.
Awesome. You're going to go grab the notice?
Yeah, I'll grab the notice.
Fantastic. I can figure out more details about that as needed, but essentially it gives you some possible locations where they think the magic items are held, some of the people they think are involved, like the suppliers he mentioned, and instructions as to what to do with the magic items and more details on what sending them a lesson could look like.
Perfect.
Specifically that you're not to kill any of the suppliers.
Yeah, I can threaten them.
Sure.
Just won't kill them.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. With that, let's assume that you head back to the guild where everybody's waiting.
Yep.
At this point, we'll call it evening. It's been a few hours. Everybody feel free to move your characters sort of around the main hall, or if you want to put them outside. At this point, I can just reveal the whole map essentially to y'all. If y'all want to go chill somewhere else in the evening. We'll say the animals have hoofed off at this point.
I can't move my character.
Really? That's so strange. Is anybody else having difficulty moving their characters?
Nope.
Void, are you able to move yours?
I can't move my guy either.
Okay. For some reason, I think it was other people's. Before Avalene, before you get back, Thesera, Kil'Kash, would y'all have spent any time talking to each other or hanging out?
Nah, I kind of just want to walk past Kil'Kash sort of thing.
Okay. Just like in the hall, you would have walked past him?
Yeah.
Okay. That will give us another perception opportunity. Give me a perception check. And Kil'Kash, you can give Kil'Kash, give me one as well. As y'all walk past each other, Thesera sort of feels on her chest where the amulet is resting. She feels as if it starts to thrum with energy as she passes Kil'Kash. And Kil'Kash, you're not sure what it is, but something draws your attention draws your attention over to her general direction.
Okay.
I think I'd clutch the amulet, like, kind of under my armor, but, like, continue to still walk by.
As you do that, Kil'Kash, you sort of feel as if something's, like, clutching your chest.
Oh, the hell.
Anything else y'all want to do?
Can't think of nothing.
I'll just keep a note of it kind of, I don't know, like pulsing or that feeling. I'll just keep a note of it. But that's pretty much it. I just wanted to walk by.
Okay. You haven't shown the amulet to anybody outside of your group yet, right?
No.
Okay. So Muffin, you still wouldn't be aware of what it is exactly that's drawing
Yeah.
your attention, but you're like, she's got something. You can tell, like, you don't know what it is, but like something's. It's not her, but it's something she has. You just get this feeling.
Okay.
Okay. As Avalene returns, you sort of see as you sort of enter the guild grounds. You see Ray hanging around outside, and you can take it off from there.
Nod my head. Go inside.
I'll trail back in since we're reunited as well.
Sab, can you give me an insight check?
Oh man, not again.
Okay, on a 10, you actually hadn't realized that Avalene had left earlier. You had thought she was just somewhere on the grounds, like everybody had kind of split up in different directions. You find it interesting that she didn't tell you that she was leaving.
Howie.
Okay. So only not everyone's at the table.
Nope. As you come in, you see that Squeeb's sort of admiring the coat, the armor, the sets of armor on either side of the door. And you see that a few people are still in here. Leosin and Delann seem to be having a conversation. And Kil'Kash and Thorn seem to be on the outside of that, listening in and providing input where needed.
Gonna sit down at the table, assuming it's dinner time.
Yep, about. There's some people milling
Probably.
about.
Grab some food / get a drink.
Lovely.
That's about it. I'm not gonna share any information just yet. Not until everyone's gathered.
Okay. Thesera, at this point, you'd probably be getting pretty hungry too, so it's probably about time to return to the main hall.
Yeah.
As you're returning, Delann is standing up and says, well, I've stayed here long enough. It sounds like we'll be reconvening tomorrow to talk about next steps. Who's going to be following the cult and whatnot. Leosin sort of nods his head and says, yes, friend, we'll see you again tomorrow, but feel free to take your leave for the evening. And he leaves out the front. Leosin sort of looks at all y'all reconvening and he says, oh, well, I just realized I haven't given y'all all the time alone together. There are a few things I ought to be checking in with the guild leader here as well. So I'll leave y'all alone. Enjoy your meals and I'll see you all tomorrow. And he gets up and goes down the hallway you had just left through, or you had just come through, Sony.
Wow, everyone's just magically got together now. The other people.
Wow.
Ah.
Wow, what do you know?
That. Oh.
Nope, Thorn.
Never mind.
Too late. You're in there. You're stuck in there. You're having
He
dinner.
teleported away.
God teleported you back. Right, indeed, you'll find the six of you reunited again in the main hall. This time, away from prying eyes or ears.
Perfect. So I got some information about the cultists that may be useful. And a side mission. If anyone silent, as I look at Muffin,
Hey.
would like to participate in.
Who's a muffin?
You want to share?
So, there's a some cultist activity in the area who are buying a whole bunch of magic items. And someone wants to teach them a lesson and take back the magic items. So I have locations of a few cultist hideouts that have magic items. So if anyone would like to join to kill and loot.
Kill and loot.
Yeah.
Killing only cultists.
Killing only cultists. Not the suppliers, just the cultists.
Sounds interesting.
So I'm guessing I have a list of a few locations.
Yep, you've got some starting information to go off, but the first stage will for sure be gathering information and making sure you know what to do next.
How many people do you need, Ava?
From your experience, you think that a group of 3 would be the perfect size for a heist like this?
I need 2 other people to join me.
I am pretty intrigued. Heavily intrigued, one may say.
I feel like you got everyone pretty much interested at the thought of
Everyone's interested.
magical items.
This is what kills me. Like I whenever I make up the other chapter, it always sounds more interesting than the one that's already written.
Well, I don't know exactly what the what's planned, but we could split into 2 groups of 3 to do some heists.
I mean, this other thing needs to get done.
I was gonna say, or 3 of us do all this loot and loot and kill, and then the other one follows the activities of the main group.
So, before everybody starts thinking about what their characters might do, let me be a bit clear about the 2 different paths. So, one group is going to stay here in Waterdeep and do this heist. What the heist is going to involve is a lot more social interactions, puzzle solving, general sneaking and thievery kind of stuff. It's going to be a lot less combat. On the other side, it's going to be a bit of sneaking and whatnot, because y'all are still trying to trail the cult north and like not totally reveal your hand. But there's going to be a bunch more combat and more like, not full-on dungeon delving isn't the right word, but like more typical D&D. Break into a room, look around at the room, break into another room, there's enemies in here, kill the enemies, go to the next room, so on.
Water, my alley.
Yeah, like that. So if you're looking for combat, more combat is probably going to be on that side. Not that there won't be combat, not that there won't be social on either side.
Right.
All these are designed to have aspects of each of the different sort of pillars of D&D play, but that side will be more combat heavy, and the heist side will mostly be you trying to avoid combat.
Yeah, I'm going to assume my character is locked in on the heist.
Not necessarily. Like, I think you would make a logical leader for it, but if you want to just sort of...
I think it makes sense for my character to do the heist, because...
I agree.
Yeah.
I have this mission, guys. I'm not going to be a part of it. But...
I have this mission. I leave it to you 3.
Some of you may die. But
I know. I've only met most of you for a few hours that one time back 2 months ago, but I trust you to do this.
I trust you with my life.
Literally, they will kill me.
Cassie is dead next session.
So I think I wanted to make that clear. I think this is where we're going to call the session, and we can sort of like just essentially like the meeting that y'all are having tomorrow with Leosin to determine like who's doing what. That's just us talking in Discord, like out of character about who's going to do what. But yeah, so these are essentially your 2 paths. Like I said, the next chapter that's actually written, where you're tracking the cult for a little bit, I'm actually going to abbreviate that to be much shorter. So ideally, that's going to be like a session. And then we'll move on to chapter 6, which will be a much more involved chapter, just like more of a normal chapter. Be kind of similar to like the hatchery route, where it's like more typical like traditional dungeon delving, going from room to room, fighting people, figuring stuff out. Meanwhile, heist side, you'll probably spend a session gathering information and that kind of stuff, and then you'll move into the full-on actual heist, like performing the heist, as sort of that version of Chapter 6. And again, there'll be, not that there won't be combat there, but the general goal for that group will be to avoid combat.
Does that mean everyone's decided that they're sticking with it? Because from how you made it sound, one person drops, then we'd be forced into one group, and curious how that would change things.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things where it's like, I think I'm just going to have to figure that out as it happens. More than likely, if that happens, we'll just have to say that the heist gets called off and y'all call for help on the other one. Because given that we're playing with the general, like, even the stuff that I'm homebrewing is still built around the core campaign that is written. So, like, the core campaign stuff has to happen. The other stuff is just sort of built around it. So, ultimately, if one person drops and we can only do one of those things, then we would need to do the core campaign stuff. Make sense?
Yep.
No.
Yes.
Cool. All right, so for prepping for our next sessions, we all need to determine who's going to be on what routes. We need to figure out scheduling with that. I think everybody's pretty aligned now in terms of being able to play Sunday at 12 or 1, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Sab, that's still pretty early for you. You probably prefer the 1 o'clock time, right?
Yeah, but I can make whatever work if it's just a preference.
Okay. So no restrictions here, really. Like, we should try and make it as convenient for everybody as possible, but no significant concerns there. Just keep in mind what I said about the 2 different routes in terms of what your preferences are. And then we need to determine who's going to get what magic items in terms of the 3 that y'all were awarded. Meanwhile, I'll look up what that gem was that Leosin was going to give you and what the gold value of was that, because I think it was a few hundred gold pieces. We can split that among the 6 of y'all. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Oh, and with that gold that y'all have, y'all can potentially, like, buy, since y'all are in Waterdeep now, major city, y'all can potentially buy some stuff here. And we can do that in Discord as well.
Are we just DMing you what we prefer to go on, or?
Yeah, just if you already know what you want to do, DM me your preferences. If you have more questions, like general about what the paths are going to involve, or like just general thoughts on it, feel free to put that in the general chat so I can, like the D&D chat channel, so that everybody knows the information I share. But yeah, if you already know what you want to do, just go ahead and DM it to me.
All right.
I'm doing the heist.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I think Cassie's really the only one that's locked in on that. So, regardless, like I said, that's not the core one. The core one is continuing to track the cult north. So, like, at the end of the day, if everybody says heist, I'm going to need 3 volunteers to go track the cult. So, I know the heist sounds super fun. This other one's going to have a ton of fun stuff to do as well. But y'all let me know.
Yep.
Cool. All right. In that case, I appreciate all of y'all, and I will talk to you all in a bit.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Sounds good. Bye, everybody.
Bye.